do the time. Don't tell me how you're off and down when you're smiling in my face, but you play me like a clown and you fool, bitch. So just step back, or I'm mad that when I come down straight, I thought you were my piece, but you play me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Good. I'm back on the scene. It's time to get mean. I'm a lean revolution machine. For what people stay, they sway. For today is good as any day. Y'all feel slightly this, let's resist. Raise your fist and pump like this. Promises over the top. Don't cross the line, and you know it's mine. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll.
Turning on echo cancellation, and we're good to go. Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday night. Hi, Sue. How are you? Sue.
Hi. Okay, I'm unmuted.
Hey, what's
Hi.
going on?
I'm good.
Nice. Hey, Bear. What's up, buddy?
Howdy doody.
You are going to do it like that. Yeah. All right.
Howdy doody.
We're doing this. We're doing this. Oh, yeah. So what a fun day today. I tell you, I have no agenda for today's board meeting. I'm very sorry. No agenda. We do have events coming up, but I got assaulted for the 5th time in Bayonne today.
No,
Can you believe that shit?
they should not be assaulting a disabled person.
Yeah, they laid their hands on me. The same guy who spit on me a year ago is the same guy who just can't keep his mouth shut or his hands to himself.
Really?
So, yeah, so I wasn't going to press charges for him spitting on me from last year. I was going to let it go and just ignore him. But now he's trying to bully me, and I don't.
Were you in your chair?
Me, I don't deal with bullies.
Were you in your chair?
I was in my chair.
Wow. Okay.
He grabbed my phone out of my hand, and then he smacked me in the head. I think he was trying to get my mask off, but he couldn't, and it was just more of a smack in the head.
So he's scared of you. He's afraid.
I know he is. That's why he does things like that way.
Yeah. Yeah, he's scared.
I called him a punk ass bitch because that's the kind of shit. That's what you do when you're that. When you turn around, you spit on somebody. When you turn your back, you grab their phone, run away. And then he'd move this car. He moved this car out of the yellow zone.
Does he live in Bayonne?
Yeah.
So you know his name and all that?
I'm going to know his name now. Now I will know his name and
Oh,
address.
that's right. You got his license plate, right?
And the cops came. I got a police report today.
Okay.
Lefty. When he smacked one phone and took it, I would have just pulled out the other phone and started recording him with that.
I thought that. I wasn't thinking that, bro. I wasn't thinking that at all.
Yo, he'd have died slowly.
I know. It would have been the best video ever.
He would
But
have
you get
died
startled.
slowly.
It was like when I was talking to that chick, that Canna boss, Mama boss, whatever she is. I wasn't thinking quick enough, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm on my feet with that
Yeah.
stuff, but today I didn't expect him to do that. I didn't think he'd be dumb enough to assault me.
Oh,
I didn't get the assault on camera. I got him grabbing my phone on camera.
That's
And I'm actually bleeding. My hand is bleeding.
You got the assault on camera.
I got the assault on camera,
Smack the phone.
which is assault, but he also hit me in the head, which you can't see that.
This camera's running.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's cameras on the street, so.
And the streets are talking. A lot of people came out of their businesses and were watching this fiasco.
Oh, so you had witnesses too. Okay, so you've got witnesses, you've got street cams. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Hi, Jim. Unmute yourself, Jim.
Yeah, you're muted, Jim.
Yeah, I got make sure nothing else is getting through. Hello, and hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's good to see you. I
So
haven't seen
bad.
you in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
I
it's
missed
been
you.
a little sporadic. I got a pretty good track record though. Got a track record on the first meeting. This actually, I was finishing dinner, not done, and I went Tuesday. For yesterday felt like Sunday, and I'm thinking Monday.
Yeah, I know.
So when I looked, it's every time that would happen, it'd be like way later, and this was like right on 7 o'clock. Oh, I'm late. I'm always kind of late. I try not to be.
Are the board meetings every week?
Yeah, when a quorum allows that to happen. So we may not at times get any more of a quorum than.
So you use 5
more,
right?
Lefty, 5 quorum, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Robert's rules. I went to college.
I believe
know
it's
that.
4. I believe it's 4. We have 8 people, and I believe it's 4.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, yeah, half is good.
And the problem is we haven't had a quorum for the spring session yet, so we're almost mandatory to have a regular meeting. So we have to have a regular meeting soon with a quorum. And I'm not prepared today with an agenda because I'm going to fall back on my assault today. I'm going to fall back on my assault. I was assaulted, so I have PTSD right now.
No, well,
how about electing me as the social director? That's agenda.
Would you like to join our board?
I propose that. Yeah.
I would. Yes, I would love to do that, and we need a quorum to put that up for a vote. So I will second that.
It'll happen though.
Okay.
I can guarantee that.
Okay. I can't make every Tuesday though, because my grandkids.
Well, then you'll fit right in.
You'll fit. Shots fired at the rest of the board.
Then I'm glad I had a good setup.
M1 board.
Oh man. Oh, Medman, hold on. Let me put Medman's comment up here. It's very important.
Please do.
Medman says, "Hit that blunt for me." Yes, sir.
Neither.
I know how to follow rules.
Well, my chopped liver.
So here's something for your agenda. Lefty and I are going to the CWB Expo, the Cannabis Expo in the city on
June 2nd?
No, the 5th or the 6th, whichever day you want to go. Because I have to go to both. Because I have to.
Why?
Because they're doing this ladies thing that I have to make an appearance at because of the Cannabis Nurses Network.
Nice.
Otherwise, we'll look like we're vacant.
What day is that?
I got to know the days. I don't know.
Oh, because if it's Thursday, I might not make Thursday, but I can definitely make Wednesday.
I think we're Tuesday and Wednesday for some reason. Who's got a calendar?
Uh,
I don't
New
know.
Jersey. I'll get one in a second.
All
New
right.
Jersey man. He's been in the hospital for 17 days. Oh
That's a
my
long
God.
time.
Ooh, why?
Having
He had
stuff
infection.
drained, you know,
Ouch.
the drainage problem, let's just say.
Mm.
Oh, okay. What
Yeah,
hospital?
I don't know.
I think they drained like a liter or something.
Oh, no, they were doing that like on a daily basis. It didn't just stay away. It would rebuild. You know.
Mm.
Hi,
Wow,
Katrina.
that is just a long time though. 17
Hey,
days.
Katrina.
Infection in my back and tested positive. Well, that's a natural bacteria that grows in hospitals. MRSA.
Yeah, my grandma got that.
Yeah, everybody does.
That's why I promised her I wouldn't bring her back into the hospital because every time she went in there, she came out with an
Yeah,
infection.
yeah. That's why they don't like to keep you. You know how they used to keep patients for like long. Now they don't. They don't like to do that. They like you to be in and out. Wow,
500 milliliters they drained.
for half a liter. Wow,
Oh,
you poor guy. Oh my
oof.
God,
And they took away his cannabis, by the way.
they did.
Well, they didn't take it away. They frowned upon it, so he has to hide it when he does have it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So,
that's not how patients should live in stress and anxiety. It's ridiculous.
mhm. Did you state that in your public comment?
I didn't make my public comment yet. I'm
Why not?
we have till July.
You know what? I put that up. I was up at 6 o'clock that morning waiting for that public comment
People would be
post,
first.
and it came on, and I was first. And
So you
you got
balance each other out.
I
There
want to
you go.
round up. I'm gonna, yeah, I'll take up the back end.
Hmm.
That's good for me.
You
they
know,
even quoted. They even quoted something I put already. I
Oh,
said
really?
yeah,
What? Oh, okay.
yeah,
It's like that.
yeah,
Okay.
they did. Um, I saw it on LinkedIn. I don't know. It's floating around somewhere. When I find it, I'll post it. I know where it is.
So did I see this right? That Chris Goldstein met with Joe Biden?
No.
Yes,
no.
I saw that. I'm telling you.
No. They, you know what they were doing? They were doing the instant replays of when he went to DC. That's been all in the normal news and everybody else's news. I saw it over the weekend too. I thought the same thing, but no, that's what it was.
I want to ask him.
Biden was at West Point anyway, doing the graduation.
Oh, okay. Um, ask him to join us. Cool. Well, that blunt got me. Oh, my goodness. I need to hydrate.
Words
after
that have never been said. Oh, never mind.
Pink lemonade, baby.
Well, I, for one, am really looking forward to Moorestown Day on Saturday. It's my first time back at a coalition table since before the pandemic. And we didn't do it because of the pandemic. We didn't do it last year because the registration process sort of, whoa, we missed it, So I went anyway because I like to go to the 7th District's legislative table because it includes Senator Singleton as well as Assemblyman Conaway. I mean, like right in one table. That's really cool. Not that they're there necessarily, but they will be there. So this year, what I've done is I've compiled a pretty quick read of what I call a timeline of New Jersey's outlier status among as a home grow provider, whatever. I mean, I really worked on it, and I'm hard to please myself when I start editing. But I've had good vision on this, and because, see, that's what the coalition does, is educate. And people don't know this amazing story that circles around that legislative table and beyond. Mm-hmm. Now, as a member of either this or any organization, I don't take it upon myself to do something myself when representing them, at a function. That being said, when I give out the timeline over the course of a day there, and I'll be talking to people, somebody's going to say, "Oh, that sucks." You mean, yeah, that's how it happened. And I say, listen, I myself can't walk on down and hand one of this here to Senator at the table there where Conway is or his people are. I can't do that because I'm representing the coalition. But you, now that you've mentioned an interest in what we're handing out, you'd have every right to go on down and hand him a copy and leave him contact thing, and I'd appreciate an explanation just for fun, because he's running for Congress now, and he doesn't want this sort of view, just a little taste, But to be there, or I will be there to thank Senator Singleton or whoever will be at the table at the time. But then I could reach over here and be next in line to talk to somebody about, Assemblyman Conway's involvement in this, because it's right in the history, and it's ongoing history. The good part is the summation that the bill's no longer in his committee, and it's in a sponsors committee, so it will not be able to be kept back from being heard now. So it's like a story but it starts. It has to have the notation because as a notation rather in the middle of a timeline that for any bill to become law in New Jersey, it has to be passed in both chambers of the upper and lower chamber of the legislature, and has to be identical bill, not similar, has to be identical. It's called a companion bill. And if one is amended, the other one has to be amended, or they have to reach a compromise. So it's back to being exactly the same. Because that being said as a note in a much shorter version, it just reads right. It reads like, huh? A couple of times. And the timeline is only 5-6 notes, basically, things. It's not like one after another. But I just look forward to being there in that district, at that venue. It's really nice. I mean, it's like a really quaint, kind of cool, upper class town. There's a lot of money in Moorestown, old money, and having the last time we were there, it was illegal for adults even. Oh man! So I assume it's probably best if I go to a dispensary and buy an 8th before I go there, because it seems to me that I'm a patient. I'm going to be in pain at some point. And I'm going to wonder, where can I do this without getting in trouble? What's the rule? So what I could do is take a walk, or Michael watches the table, and go down towards where the 7th District table is, to the nearest police officer on duty, and say, "Hi, I'm a registered New Jersey medical marijuana pain, and I have here with some of my state-sanctioned medicine. I'm in pain right now. I'm going to work." I'll be pulling a lefty on the INE tour, pretty much.
Film it.
But with a twist. Here's something you don't get to do. You don't get to do in the moment of when he's trying to figure out what to do. I say, "Hey, listen, it's all about, that is the law, but the people that make the law, including that one, they're sitting right over at that table. Why don't you just go ask them?" I'll wait. What if I could get him to go over there and say, "Listen, what would the law on that be? You have any idea how sweet that would be to put them on that spot?" And that could be the natural course of events. Try to think like an officer in that situation. Coincidentally, they're going to be right there. Or I could say, "Let's go over and ask them." Oh, that'd be good. Follow me, officer. Let's go ask them. Yeah, this is going to be fun.
He would just deflect.
I don't care. I don't expect to. That's good. But then, I'll have like something that's not caustic, really. Something like, I wouldn't have expected otherwise. I could just say, "I wouldn't have expected much more than that. How about this? How about if I go where I believe I can use it, you can follow me, and then you can do your duty or not when I let up. You can ask me to stop, or you can just let me go. Let's do that. How about, what do you say, right? Come on.
How is Morristown?
What's the downside? I mean, it is legal, and I won't disobey what would be an effective command. Here's what I want you to do. Good enough. But basically, it'd be a good place to put everybody on notice, and then go over the table and say, "See this confusion, Brent? Come on, Senator Singleton, did you see that? Did anybody understand? Did you see that? I'd like to talk about that. When can we talk about this?" It's just a great opportunity. And that's without once saying the words Schedule 3. Let's get ready. Let's start jumping ship and getting on the right side of the shit now. What do you say? This is like a warning bell for the Titanic that they didn't get, Uh-oh. Schedule 3 is the same as iceberg straight ahead. That's actually not a bad comparison. I'm slowly working mind at the moment.
I'm just happy that Bear fixed the lighter. We have show them the lighter. It's a really cool lighter. I found it, and he fixed it.
Your needs are simple.
Isn't that
I like
cute?
that.
I'm supposed to go to San Diego in September. So, because we're looking for an Airbnb because it's, the Cannabis Nurses Network thing. It's called The Gathering. That was my idea. They're showing Airbnbs.
Where are the nurses mostly at? In California?
Nah, they're pretty well scattered.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we originally started everything in California because you could. But now they're scattered. We even have a couple that are like overseas, like Israel. There's this one chick. Her name is Gal. She worked with Dr. Machellam on his research team. So she'll come on like it's the middle of the night there, if we're having some kind of meeting. And she sets her alarm and wakes herself up.
I'd love to speak to her for.
You can't understand her. She's not that. She's sweet, but you can't understand. She's hard to understand. She really is. This week you're going to have what's his name, Rich. All right,
okay.
And next week I'll put a nurse on, if that's
We
okay.
have to start preparing for Cannabis Patient Awareness Day and get some people online, get some flyers out there.
That's July 10th, right?
Yeah, we got to start really reaching out.
Along those lines, I need. Oh, go ahead. Good. We're in the middle.
So, if you could even send it by text, like what kind of flyer you want, so then I can make them for up here, and just I can scatter them all over.
Yeah, we're gonna need some sponsors. I'll reach out to the hippies. I'll reach out to the Smokers Club. I'll reach out to whoever will listen.
You need as soon as possible a list of states. It's the first thing people are going to want to know, and I need to know because I need to look up on my own where I find that they are. In other words, I want to educate myself long before then as to the situations in all the states that you're going to have represented, or that might be. And along those lines, I thought of one thing in common that you might involve them in is, I'm sure in most anybody's state, there's somebody who passed on before they saw the success of the fruits of their labor. And, we could add them to the list that we read. And they could just say something quick about, well, yeah, and, somebody on, because then it would keep the focus on patients. Each state, one little unless you think it's a bad idea. I mean, I'm just throwing it up. If it sticks, it sticks. I am not the kind of person who says, "Oh, I was gonna say something." Nah, if I ever say that, you can kick me in the ass.
Really?
Yeah,
problem.
really. I pride myself on doing that, but I open myself up to all sorts of
Goodness.
to have the right to do that. I'm also wrong often enough.
Yeah.
I mean, so
It's a lot of information.
yeah, and then plenty of time to make sure that you have proper time, not but leeway in between. I mean, things we can talk about. It doesn't have to be right here, right now, but I'm thinking, what? Okay, let's say 17 states. Is that a fair number that isn't too high or isn't totally out of line?
Yeah, 20 is good. 20 is doable because if we had 50 people online,
No. We don't have to worry about that, and we couldn't anyway. So
we can do
you're
it.
right. You're absolutely right. But that's a lot more than it sounds like. 20 is a lot, and some are going to go long, and some are going to go short, and some aren't going to be on time, and some might have to be arranged. So my suggestion is you need a certain amount of lead time, even like mostly not in the beginning. We got to begin on time and they're ready, but in the beginning of the podcast, a certain amount of time before, okay, let's get down to it. The first, whoever's up first, and then that'll last an approximate amount of time. That needs then again in between time, where it can first thing could go long, and the second person, if they're not, you need adjustment room, and you need more than you actively at the table at all times with things that you won't be able to do. I mean, way different than your normal podcast. And I'm willing to commit to as much of that and helping as I can. But you know me, there's certain things I can't help with. But I want to be able to talk with anybody about a state that's planned to be there with something I already have notes on.
What about
Myself.
Ryan's law? Do you have notes on Ryan's law?
No, I don't.
Ryan's,
You know what Ryan's law is?
I think I was there when they passed it.
It's not
What-
passed.
What state? What are we talking about?
I'm talking about in California. They thought they had it passed, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's the law that requires certain healthcare facilities to allow terminally ill patients use of medicinal cannabis within their healthcare facility. Now that was based on there was a kid named Ryan in South Carolina. I believe that's where it started from.
So
And
they have that.
he's an autistic kid. Wait a minute. Yes, he was an autistic kid, and South Carolina, even though they don't have legal anything, they they created this law that really didn't go anywhere because there's really nothing to do with it, but that the patient or the caregiver of the patient is able to give them their meds while they're in the healthcare facility, because they don't let you do that. So Ryan's law was then submitted in California, and we all thought it went through, and it would be for patients for that are cannabis patients. But now it's like one of those Nick Scattori things. It's caught somewhere in the abyss. We thought we had it, and then we didn't. It's one of those. But it's an interesting topic to talk about. And what I could do if you guys wanted, and just think about it. Don't say yes or no now. There's an attorney out there, Ken Sobel, who he was really the big push for Ryan's law, and we could get him to, he'll talk about it. He'll come on and talk about it. He loves to talk. He's a lawyer, and he's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that would be good, right? I mean, it's interesting, and it's what we're trying to get. We have to start somewhere. Well, we have to start with home grow here, anyway. But Yeah, there's Ryan's Law.
So he'd be a great person to talk to on Cannabis Patient Awareness Day.
Yeah, right. So I'll ask him.
Him and Tony, because I know Tony last year actually got a permit for Sacramento.
Hmm.
He was actually going to be at the Sacramento State House.
Okay.
He had I think he had a migraine that day though.
Ken's in San Diego.
So, do you know other states that could be represented by some nurses?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like weird states like Wyoming and Montana and Idaho and states.
What time?
Cool.
Now
What
you're
time
getting weird.
What's the beginning and end time that you're assuming this will be the podcast?
It'd be well, start early, like 10
No. Yeah.
Till what?
4.
10 to
6
4, and it's on a
So then-
Saturday, July 10th.
July 10th is a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
10 to
Okay,
4.
see,
Wow.
see, that's sketchy there because of
Yeah.
people's work schedules. But I can get some nurses. Yeah, I'll get some nurses from various states. I have a nurse in Tennessee, Marcy Cooper. She'll talk. She's good. Yeah, let me think about who would be able to do that during the week. There's this other. I have another nurse out in California. Her name is Carmen, and she's from one of the tribes. So she's a reservation nurse. So she's good. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me think about it. Let me think about who would be around.
Yeah, I see a lot of parties being planned, and so I'm making a flyer so that if you're throwing a party, at least have a moment of silence. Have a moment of silence for the patient. You know, that could be done.
That would be nice.
If you had 5 broadcasting hours out of 6 hours between 10 and 4, that'd be like you'd have to run 4 through every hour, however you divided it up with time in between, or as much time as you could get to the next one. But that's 15-minute segments at the absolute most. If you jump take from one to bam to the other, and there's always going to be in between time. So even getting a grip on it, you got to start thinking in those terms, because there's only going to be so much time and there's going to be so much to say. It's going to be a challenge. I love it. I mean, it's worth doing, but it's going to be, a challenge, because you've never done anything like that with a time constraints like that. And look, time constraints us. Why is the podcast started at 11:11? Oh, let me tell everybody that doesn't know. It didn't. It started at like 10, and then we weren't making 10 o'clock, and we were trying to be there at 10 because of we had a better chance of seeing the governor. But
Yeah,
then
Chris Christie.
eventually we settled on 11. And I don't know how many weeks in a row it got to be 11:11. So what we did is, rather than get 11 minutes quicker, we just changed the stated time to 11:11, and apparently that was our groove, because we can get started every time by 11:11. My point is, that was brought about by not being able to get things done on time, because stuff is always going to happen. So, the more that you can have people involved with thinking of potential things, and any little glitch is it's like a traffic jam then, So, you end up with time. You got to it's like on Johnny Carson when they had us, well, we'll have him come back next time. Sorry, we didn't have time. It's always going to be a real possibility with the success of this many things. And again, I say it not with reservation about doing it. It's about having eyes open wide enough with a little bit of field vision, and something we've never done. But you've done a lot of podcasts, and it's hard to control timing of things. And sometimes stuff is so unbelievably interesting, the time gets away on you. But for this, there's never going to be any real empty time, which is going to be good. But it's going to be it's exciting to be involved in a first. And now had a good like a trial run, a test case, and again, but this is the real deal. So I'm looking at myself. I can see me smiling. You know, what it is I want to make sure there's no possibility. It would be like, maybe if Jim had tried harder. Oh fuck no. I'm going to be beyond on my game on that, but a lot of that has to do with being prepared. You know.
Jim, aren't you with Ken Wilski?
Yeah.
Okay. So he should have some access too, because he belongs to I hate to say my arch nemesis, but I will, because I never care what I say anyway. The American Cannabis Nurses Association.
Brother,
Bleep me out. Did you bleep me out?
Yeah.
When I,
Okay. Who is that in particular? You know.
the American Cannabis Nurses Association.
Okay.
They
Okay.
they
At odds
suck.
with them.
Yeah, that's just me though. That's just me. Okay, because I'm not really that nice. So everybody else is nice.
You know, sometimes what you're referring to slyly as nice is exactly not what's needed. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah,
you
so they don't like me.
yeah, but you
And
fill a
also,
void, as do I.
yeah,
Trust me, that's all I can say. Being a current board member in good standing, that's all I will say. However, I've never been a bobbing head doll at any meetings, you know, ever. And I am tabling at Morristown for the coalition, and I mean it's also going to be having to get everything right back to Ken's house afterwards and help him get in the car so he can go to Pride Day in Asbury with everything and table the next day. So I'm being a coalition CMMJ team player. When I'm down at the 7th district table, I'm going to be leaving 2 cards. You know, I mean, come on, who gets to walk up and go, okay, listen, I've got 2 cards, both from 501c3s. Yes, I'm a co-founder and board member of this one, CMJ, and I'm the president of this one, Sativa Cross. You know, it's
you're so,
and then
so blessed to know you.
But when I credential myself, you know what I top that off with?
What?
I say, but when you have time, if you really want to know, simply when you at your computer Google search these words: Jim Miller, medical marijuana, New Jersey, and that'll credential me. Because like it's sort of like, oh look, yeah, I know what comes up. I do that. I see what comes up. I know what comes up. All right. It's that I have the advantage of being able to do that. That when I got a good buzz going, I Google search myself to see what would happen. I go, oh, I wouldn't want to fuck with this guy. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't say fuck. Oh, fuck, I did it 3 times. Never mind.
Oh,
Whoa.
you're fucking
I'm just
out.
saying. I'm just saying that the Google search thing too. Like for instance, the timeline that I wrote, it's 500 and upper 500 words of the outlier status where it began, which was actually began when Scutari on February 9th, 2009, when his S-119 passed, including provisions for 6 plants, you know, that he ushered through to a 22-16 successful vote, while explaining all along the way that this was as all 13 states before us had done as well. In other words, he explained it away by saying everybody's doing it, you know. And so it's funny to start out there, but way less words than I just gave. I'm talking about 416 font lines of a word thing. That's not a lot, you know. And then,
Did you ever Google Lefty?
but then, what's that?
Have you ever
yeah,
Googled
I have.
Lefty?
Yeah, there's a lot, you know. I find pictures that I haven't seen before one time, you know.
My name is Jim Miller. I'm a medical marijuana activist in New Jersey.
Yeah, that'll come up, right?
I know there's a lot of support for medical marijuana in New Jersey. And I would
Homegrown.
assume a large portion of that support comes from people who smoke marijuana socially and understand that it is not going to do the great harm we've been hearing it might do to patients. There's a compassionate use medical marijuana bill that's close to passage. It may get a final vote January 7th. Legislators need to hear from their constituents. Now, if you smoke pot and you've never done anything to help medical marijuana patients, not only ought you be ashamed of yourself, I don't know how you can even enjoy getting high. I don't know how you can even enjoy getting high. I don't know how you can even enjoy getting high. The next time you smoke a joint and you feel good, understand people don't feel good. You can help them by going to cmmnj.org, clicking and sending a pre-written letter to your legislator after you fill out certain pertinent information. And for those of you that think that information is going to put you on some sort of list, get over it. You are being paranoid. It's not going to happen. The only thing that's going to happen is you're going to get high and you're going to help save somebody's life. What's going to happen is you're going to get high and you're going to help save somebody's life. Is you're going to get high and you're going to help save somebody's life if you go to the website and send a letter. Do the right thing. If I were you, I'd do it for insurance, just so the next time you get high, you don't feel like crap for not doing what you could.
Post-hypnotic suggestion, you know. Why do I feel like crap, damn it? Yeah. You know, why don't we have something like that up right now concerning everything else I'm talking with, would be my question after seeing that again. You know, it's
Well, why don't you do a star performance?
Say again?
Why don't you do?
Well, you know, I'll tell you what I thought about doing. Was if I could isolate the time in the morning when I'm in the right mood. I know Kathy has to put off a lot of 30 to seconds to minute rants about something, and it just comes out of my mouth. It comes with the attitude. Everything's clicking. It's before the end of the first coffee, after the first joke somewhere. It's got to be both, and it comes out. I'm always left thinking, "Fuck! I wish I had that on film." And I'm thinking, well, I could get my best version of it on probably one or two tries. I never want anything perfect. I mean, unless I totally did something stupid. But I could have some of them ready to go at the same time like at 9 o'clock a.m. every morning. I put up another, you know, but I get a certain amount of them first. So, you know, you run into a cold streak. I don't have one. And I thought, you know, it can't hurt. All these meetings go up, you know, there's things that happen that if nothing else, I could segregate from a meeting, like lefties segregate, you know, and show that somewhere. I mean, because things have happened that were astounding, you know, every now and then. But the sequence and the timing, it's coming up that it's not going to get a hearing before November, no matter what anybody says, and I don't need to ask any questions of anybody. It's not. Well, it's not because it had to have happened in May, and it's going to be June. So when the office, who is the primary sponsor of the assembly side of it, that was her summation that it has to happen in May. So now that it hasn't, and it won't happen till November, it's time for relentless body shots. Not getting lulled into there's nothing we can do. It's the time to be very active, because also it's the time when
what is that noise?
I don't think it's me.
That's our guest, our new guest, Tommy Lyons is
here. Right.
Jim, it was great to
Tommy
listen to you right there, man. Every time I listen to Jim Miller, I get inspired. That's for sure.
What's up, bro?
Okay. Hey,
yeah,
Lefty,
back at you,
man.
by the way, though. You've been very inspiring yourself at times, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, to me.
That means a lot to me,
to
my
me.
brother. I appreciate that.
Oh,
So Jim, here's what I think. I think that you could do another skit like that, okay? But just like you're talking to us now, you know, and just say what you usually say. You know, you say a lot of good things. You know, just do it. Just do it. Doesn't have to be a rant in the morning. It doesn't have to be anything like that, you know.
Yeah, that's
Because you
one of
just
my thoughts
because you
from they
you
just
just
run
talk. You
Minnesota.
I
just
can
talk.
record it. I can record you on a
Right.
nice stream right here
Mhm.
from your room.
Yep.
Maybe a different background, but just just do a little
Well,
PSA for
actually, if you did that and you and me had a conversation, it would happen over and over. I got to hold myself back. I mean,
right.
it's never okay. Now I'll raise my voice for effect. No, I'm talking about keep it low, keep the words coming out in a nice line here. Don't
Minute and a half, 90
don't
seconds.
listen. Yeah, it's time for it. And the thing is, there's so many pieces to play now that we never had, and it's growing and growing. And that I'm not saying nothing about Schedule 3, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. It's going to end up opening doors and discussion, and it's also going to end up getting people let go to rope and jump ship, thinking, okay, this is the iceberg up ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm going to start trying to steer. I'm going to jump off. It's let go of the rope, Senator Scutari. It's time, and it's going to really work against you if you don't. Let go of the rope, Herb Conaway. You're running for Congress. Do you really want me handing this out to your opposition?
So do you hear? Are you listening to yourself? Listen to all this. Listen to yourself. All the
Yeah, I can
things
probably
you're saying now.
I can cut this
I
up,
don't
Jim.
know.
This is probably good. I can cut this
Yeah.
up.
This
I
would
don't
be.
know.
It would be good. Keep
Oh, okay.
going. Keep going.
That sometimes comes followed by, do you hear what you sound like now? No, it's a good thing. I thought it
It
was.
was a
No,
moment.
I'm telling
Here
you,
comes
it's
the
good.
constructive criticism. I can handle it.
No,
Do
no,
you
no,
hear
no.
yourself right
Not at
now?
all. I'm cheering you
Don't you
on.
hear yourself?
Yeah. No, I'm
Big
just
time.
saying. I hear the criticism. I just make sure it
Mhm.
doesn't floor me.
Tommy,
Because
No,
there's
no
there's
criticism.
plenty, there's always plenty to learn.
Tommy, what?
But the
Go
thing
ahead,
is,
Tommy.
if it does, yes.
No, I was just listening to Jim. It's like
Huh.
Oh,
it's like Sue said. I mean, I could listen to you just go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Hi,
there's too
Tommy.
much to go. There's a lot to
Hi,
go
Sue.
on about right now. There's just a lot to go on, and it's all the stuff that's been handed to us. Like yes, Herb Conaway becoming irrelevant, but the fact that he becomes irrelevant, that the bill's not in his health committee, that it's in a different committee with a co-sponsor of the bill as committee chairman. So we went from he will not introduce it. He's the one that took home grow out in 2009. He never allowed a home grow bill, patient home grow bill, to be posted in his thing. He didn't say I'm refusing to post it, but the answers that constituents got, were based around the fact that he didn't think there's any will in the assembly to get that done. When the only question ever was to get it to an informational hearing so we know what to think about the bill. So it's like the informational hearing is the biggest tool the opposition has. The opposition. They get to show up, and they will, and they're as good as they can be about being on the wrong side too. It's not like they come in and you laugh at what they say all the time, although you do sometimes. I mean, David Evans, he's like a stand-up comedian. This is what an ounce of marijuana looks like if they were cigarette size. Oh man, holy crap!
that's what I'm talking about.
One day, my younger brother met David Evans, and this is a sideline because we're on this year call Lynn Doyle in Philadelphia, and he came to watch. And I told him about Dave Evans, and Dave Evans came into the green room after Terry Farley was there, and I already made a fool of him. He ignored me at a table, and I got down like an umpire, and I talked to him while I was there, and he's ignoring me, and I just talked to him on and on and on, and I stood up, and I said something all day. But he slipped and he said something like, "Oh, Terry Farley, the first one to go out in was it Mother May or whatever." I totally ridiculed him, and then in walks Dave Evans, and I see him coming in. I go, "I'm there, my brother Tom's here." He's walking kind of up like he's going to walk by Tom and ignore me, I said, "Tom, this is Dave Evans, the man I've been telling you about." So Dave Evans instinctively reaches his hand out, and Tom goes, "Put that thing away." Put that thing away to his hand, just shaking his head. I love moments like that. But more of them are coming, and it's about to happen soon. So I hope I can remember the way I used to be, because whether it's just getting older,
Be who you
slower,
are now.
less involved.
No, be who
No,
you
no,
are.
I mean,
You're
my that gets me to be who I am now. In other words, it's hard to explain, but I also know that when everything comes together, a nexus like this, nobody knows what's going to happen. And in a good way, it could be just like lightning quick, and it could be the tipping point where it actually goes boom and everybody jumps back, and patients are clear, and then the fight becomes for adults. But that's what I
There's
don't.
progress, Jim.
Yeah,
There's progress down here, man. Like I
it's
can at
all
least tell
about
you
that.
that.
Yeah, what's going on
Yeah.
in your state, Tommy?
Oh, well, before I kick that off, Lefty, I'd like to show you something here. Something that
That's
I've got
funny.
in my room every day.
Woo woo!
Ignorance is no excuse. Ignorance
Look
is
at
no
that.
excuse now. Ignorance is never going to be an excuse. And at least some people out there are listening. So when you talk about medical not having a home grow program, one thing I like to do, and we talked, or that they like, sorry, I'm a little bit, I've been medicating myself, so forgive me for stuttering. But one thing that they did is home grow 2 plants for anyone household, or 4 plants for home with a medical card. So they specified that for the medical program, which is nice. And Lefty, when you remember, we were talking a long time ago about what a good number would be, something that we can talk to these people about, realistic numbers. So we shot for 6 to 12 with the idea that hopefully we'd get 2, just between like me and my friends, 2 to 4 talk, and we got it. So that was cool, because there's no way we're going to go in asking for 6 to 12 and they're just going to be like, all right, we'll give you 7. We know it's not going to work like that, but we got something, and that has yielded. Ta-da!
Where do you live, Tommy?
Yes.
Got some babies. I live in Northeast Maryland.
Oh, okay.
So actually, this plant was gifted to me by 2 of my local friends. They're just such great people. I met them when they first moved to town. I was bartending, and I was like the first person they met. And that was a couple of years ago. And you see how like you click with people, and then bam, they gave me that, Like every time they come into a restaurant, they'll have joints with them and just give me, like me and all the other servers, they'll give us joints. They're just really cool people. These are the babies. I just cut these today, so they look a little sad, but they're going to pop right back up. And that one's mine. I got some Romulan genetics, and I didn't do a very good job with them because I didn't pop them well, and I only got one. And it's looking kind of sad right now because I'm going to bonsai it. I'm going to make it kind of go like all the way around it. That's my
You're
goal.
going to bonsai? Oh
Yeah, that's my goal left. I'm going to try and take a couple babies and bonsai. But this one, I
Didn't
already
Bear want to do that?
Huh?
Didn't Bear want to do that?
Yes, Bear wants to do that. I want to watch you do that. Can you video document your bonsai experience, please?
Yes.
Amazing.
So what I do, Lefty, you see how it's kind of bent? I've bent it twice now. It goes that way, and then I had it going down again. Yeah. But so I do it with paper clips. I don't have any paper clips like in front of me that I could show you, but I bend the paper clips in half, and I put one here, kind of like a U. So when I bent it up here, it keeps it stable right here, and it bends it out, and then the plant moves like magically up like that. And then as it goes out like that, that's when I'm going to start tying it down and spinning it around. So this one, I don't know if it's going to have any yield. If it does, I don't really care because I just like doing it. I think it's cool. But these ones will go to homes where they will yield. And then this one, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one because it's already so big. Like they gave me this plant and it was, already a foot and something tall. So I had my little mini grow right here with this thing was like hanging down, and I had stuff on that shelf, but then I put this one in there, and I got this light up here. It's a good light. I'm not going to shine right into it. It's a 1,000-watt LED with a 6 control knobber, and I got this one from, what was it called? First State Seed Store, and they're local Delaware. Everything is tax-free, and I go there because they're very well versed on growing tomatoes, as we like to call them. But now we can just talk about it. It's open, so we don't have to say tomatoes anymore. But I've been going to them for a couple of years now. They've always got the knowledge. Everything that I need, like these rooting cubes, this is the stuff right here. When you take a cut, like I'll take this cut right here. See that little guy? See him left in the middle? That's going to make for a beautiful baby right there. I'm going to give it another day or two before I clip it. And then when you plop them in here in those rooting cubes, I mean, they just root. And what I do, because I got these fish tanks too. So what I'll do is I'll take this little cup and to water them, I just take a little bit of fish tank water, which is really good water because it's got nutrients, it's got fertilizer, so it's really healthy.
Water.
But that's what I'll use for water,
Brilliant.
unless I get some rain. Huh?
That's brilliant.
Thanks, Left. I love it, man. This is just what I like to do. I tell you what, if I did try to bud one of them and I got some really shitty buds, like I'd be very happy. If I didn't bud it and it just grew, I'd be very happy. Because to me, this is what I wanted for home grow. You know, like I'm not smart enough and I don't have enough money. Like you see my grow setup is my closet, which to me is very cool. I actually like that a lot, but
Super
I can't
cool.
control the humidity and all that stuff, man. So you might some people like to say there are a bunch of us lazy growers out there, which is cool, but you know, we do what we do, man. That's why we wanted home grows, just so we could do what we do.
Can you shine the light into the camera? I'm not afraid.
Okay.
Go ahead. Oh, look at that thing.
That's a 1,000-watt LED,
Look
and
at that.
it goes 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's on the 6th setting right now, and it has a timer little hookup thing that I can hook up to it, which I don't. But maybe I will. But right now I'm keeping it on a 24-hour light cycle because that way it'll just stay in veg. So if it stays in veg, that's how I'm able to take a mother plant like this and take 80 babies off of one plant. You know what I mean? So I'll have to lower this one, and then I'll be able to bring this one down. When I got it yesterday, it was raining, and, you know, beautiful rain. I love that. And it was all like, you know how a plant like hangs when it's raining? Well, I left it outside for a little bit. It started to look nice. And then when I brought it in, these ones just, whoop, like, I mean, they went from, you know, hanging to like, whoop, pointing toward the light. It's amazing how it just loves the light, man. And I've seen that over the years trying to do little closet grows. And when you mess around with the lights, man, the plant loves it. Like you find that right light setting and the plant will it'll reach up toward it. But then when it starts reaching up toward it, because I've only got that much space from here to the light, which for right now is good. But in a week or two, when this thing is like this high, which it will, like this thing is going to skyrocket. I don't think I'm going to be able to, because another thing you can do with these is bend them in like different parts and slow bend it, since it's a nice big plant, so that this part up here, if you need space, you bend it like slowly so that you're not hurting it. It's going to stress it a little bit, but when you bend it and this thing ends up being all the way over like that, the plant itself will just point up like that from this part over here. So literally like this part will just move back on its own to that, but it will be bent. But right here will be bent, but then the plant will find itself going straight up again. And that's one thing I've seen over the years, that since I've been doing these small micro closet grows, you know what I mean?
Well, I found if you top it, when you get it bent over, it'll grow faster individual stalks from above the leaves that are existing straight up. That theory there is what makes me laugh when the law, here is going to, if one that's available to be in gets passed, it would be 4 mature and 4 immature plants. But when you're counting numbers of plants and you're growing indoors and have like more room than a closet, if it has some length, you could grow 6 feet worth of a straight line, top it, and it'll grow enough plants straight up that it'll look like you got 10, 12 plants there, and it'll just be one. So you could do 4 of them and have more than a 10 by 10 foot canopy, and you'd be within law. That'd just be for a screw you. I mean, I'm not sure anybody would ever actually do that. But I got a question about the 2 plants. I'm real happy about that you got what you got, because I'm wondering how many times did somebody tell you why that's not enough? You know, when it is, it's like enough when, especially when you compare it to not being able to grow any at all. You know, because I'm trying not to, and I, by virtue of just not at all continuing any conversations about whether 4 plants is enough or not. You know, I don't get lost in those weeds, you know.
Yeah.
Literally. So I think I can almost feel your energy for doing this legally, and not like it would matter to you whether or not you did it, but I got to think you enjoy it so much more when you can do something that's this much fun for you that's not against any state laws. That's got to be really cool.
Yep. There are a lot of laws surrounding it. NJ Medman just pointed out you have to plant count opposed to canopy size. You can grow unlimited flower with 4 plants,
Yep.
or you're limited to 1 or 2 outdoor plants. But I know there's rules where you can't like let your neighbors see it, like you can't have it in view of anything. Honestly, I don't know.
Our law will contain something like that guaranteed when it happens, and again, everything's gonna have components of it that are not only not perfect, some will suck and all, but compared to not having it done, and how long would it take to get something better passed like someone would want. I've already had that discussion recently, and with some passion, about we'd be better off leaving it at Schedule 1 than going to Schedule 3, and I don't want to, I won't be involved in a discussion like that again, because that was, that's pretty brutal.
Sounds frustrating, Jim. But I'll tell you this, 4 plants, right? So I've only got 1 plant here. And I can turn this plant into, 100 or 200 or whatever. And like you said, I could pop it or top it so that it starts spreading out. Then I can have 10 giant colas on 1 plant. You do that with 4 plants, you've got a ton of cannabis. But let's be honest, how many people can actually do that?
You're already having the excitement. See, what I'm saying is, I love hearing your excitement over the success of your law, and that you're enjoying it to this level, that this ought to be something, even if it was anonymously put out, your face blacked up, like how to enjoy a new law, damn it. A primer. I don't say primer. That would have to have 2 M's. I don't care what anybody says.
My thing though, like, with this amount of plants, I love it because of my personal needs. And what's cool is that, so if I had 4 personal plants, I could still have as many cuttings as I want. So one time last year, I had a sheet. I had like one of these little cube sheets right here. I had a whole one of these filled up. I think it's 45 cubes. And I had 45 cuttings in there from one, it took me like 2 hours. And I took 40 cuttings off of 1 plant at one given time. That was already after I had been taking cuttings and cuttings and cuttings. Like, I'll show you a picture of it, I don't know how on here, but like, it was just crazy, man. It was super wild. It got, I ended up cutting everything off of it, because at the bottom, all these fan leaves, they'll all end up getting cut off. The stalk will get real thick, but then once they're cut off, it's going to be basically naked up to right here. And then it just continues to do this. So we'll see but again, I'd love to give you guys some babies too. Obviously, I'll have a good amount of them. This is just the first round. There's another one right there that I didn't take. I think I told you that earlier. There's 2 right there that are going to be ready to go here in a couple days. There's another 2 right there, another 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. So, all right, give it about 2 weeks. I should have a good 10 rooted. So I'll keep you up to date on that, and then I'll be able to, figure out a way to get up there and give them to you. So I got to go. Oh, shoot. I got to go, Left. Hey, guys, it was great talking to you. Big
Tommy,
time.
good seeing you, man.
Good seeing you, brother.
I love
Nice
it.
to meet you,
Great
Tommy.
Great to meet you, Sue.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I'll catch up with you next time, okay?
You bet.
Thank you, brother.
Right.
Take
Later.
care.
That was nice. Good surprise. I like Tommy.
Yeah,
I like
he's
him. I like his enthusiasm. I like I like when you'll take it right when I say I like the simplicity of his enthusiasm. It isn't an intricately woven. It's happening and it's exciting. It's just like when we were young, without being mature. It's to be able, and it also validates. Sometimes I feel that kind of excitement. I mean, something like that'll happen, and I just picture Rick Danko on the back of a bus, drunk with other people, and Janis Joplin. They were singing, and he went like this, and I find myself doing that now and then, and that gets in my head because I get that kind of, this is one of those moments, excited, and you want to enjoy it to the fullest and remember it and create an imprint, so you can remember it. Of course, now with everything being videoed, you don't even have to do that. Get it out and relive it, and then much like they can colorize stuff done long ago, maybe they'll be able to have this incredible technology where they can create stuff like this into 3D. And that could be about 112 years old with 3D on in some place where they can keep you alive and give two shits. Oh man, oh, there I go again, right? I'm not even smoking that much.
Jim, you can always look at the game film from last year. We had almost 20
Right.
states last year, and it was one after the other, one after the other. There's
Yeah.
some overlap, and I like the overlap because then you have
Yeah.
Vermont talking to Tennessee.
Link, send me the link to that so I'm not left to my own to find it.
Okay.
Can I see that too, so that I don't try and pull nurses out?
Yeah.
I really do want to
Or
be
just even
well
the names of the
informed
states
this year,
if you
though.
don't want it. Yeah, even the names of the states, so that I don't go crazy looking for somebody.
And then for this, was this going to be one with a porta potty there, or not?
I guess we're gonna have to get a porta potty.
You gotta get that.
It's that many hours.
Mm.
Yep.
Not there's plenty of time to actually have a targeted fundraiser. Like I always say, a targeted fundraiser, put it out there, put it up on like a GoFundMe, and with a goal of whatever exactly it costs you, make that the goal, explain what it's for, and see if that can't happen. Damn, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea. You know what? And it's worth.
Holy shit, everybody wants it. Send it out to the people who are going to be on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that'd be like asking them to bring swag to an event, Another good one. I'm in my zone. Give me a problem to solve.
I was impressed with Nebraska. Nebraska went to the state house, set up a table, and smoked weed at their state house, where it's illegal. It's like, wow.
Nebraska's the kind of state where there are a lot of people who would actually do something like that. Maybe they say, "My goddamn," and that's a really healthy thing to do. How did it go down though? I mean, how did it turn out? Anybody
They had
give a crap?
Yeah.
The police come and warn them? Did they allow them to just pass?
No, they had big jars of weed out on the table.
But there was no pushback.
No.
Awesome.
Usually at the state house, they allow you to protest, and that's considered a protest.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you're allowed to have show and tell at a protest.
It seems so.
Well, we had a show and tell planting a garden. I guess that was sort of like a protest,
That was.
And, I like it. It does establish boundaries. That one, that has some risk involved to it. So, extra credit for establishing a boundary when if they really wanted to, shit on you, they could. I mean, they could. Oh, they could never do anything but tie you up with being worried. I mean, look how it goes if you stand up for your First Amendment rights, videoing a municipal meeting. Going to the state house in the state of Nebraska and doing this, you would think at least you could get the kind of trouble Mikey and Steve got in Lavallette. I mean, and that'll be a good something. Now I've learned something about Nebraska. That's good. So begins my education.
I might go to a dispensary tomorrow with a reporter. And unramped. Well, we don't know if they're unramped yet, but they have a step. And I have a reporter that's doing a story on dispensaries with wheelchair accessibility. So I want to go there and ask them if they have a ramp. And if they don't have one, I'm going to give them a brochure and tell them we want to donate one. If they do have a ramp, I'll go in there and buy an eighth of cookies for $80.
When are you doing this?
tomorrow.
What are the
And
odds that I
where
might
you
be
going?
going? Just what are the odds that I might also be going to a dispensary tomorrow to buy an eighth, the first dispensary purchase in over a year? It just seems to me. Tell me if you think it wouldn't matter though. That if I do ask a policeman in Moorestown, do my own little version of your INE tour. If it's just in a regular bag, what are the chances, or if it even matters, what are the chances of, being like, you got this in a dispensary?
They could
I mean,
confiscate.
I'm allowed for somebody to give me an ounce. It's not breaking any,
They can
So
give.
it's sort of like to be able to say, and I got this from a dispensary in my initial engagement. What's that going to cost me? I swear I don't have money.
So
I mean,
don't do that then.
yeah, probably not. It just seems like it would be better,
Just film it, please.
I don't want to be like Norm Macdonald going, hey, you got me there, you got me there. When somebody, gets them back up to a wall, That's why I always loved him. He's like you, Lefty. Is like you wouldn't keep up a charade for more than a second. Be like, you got me there. Yeah, okay. I wasn't thinking. What could I say? Anyway, yeah, there's a lot coming up, but I've never been. I am real focused on Saturday because I keep picturing Morristown. I'd just be the third or fourth time I've tabled there, but it was always to explain what's going. I mean, it was like back in over the last 12 years, probably 3 times, but before the pandemic, and I got to make up a sign that's I get to thank Senator Singleton, but at the same time bring Conway into a discussion because it's all involved, and to walk down to the table this time with, with two business cards. That's going to be good. Should draw them out of my back pockets like 6 guns, maybe, do a quick draw with. And here, card for each of you.
If you ever get arrested with weed, all you got to do is when you go to the prosecutor, bring the jar that you bought, your latest jar, and say, this is the weed that it was in. I didn't want to carry a jar, so I put it in a bag, and this is the weed. And they have to give it back to you.
Yeah. Well, basically, I would. The only thing I would have on me would be a joint.
We got back a quarter pound of weed for the one guy in Keyport. It wasn't even dispensary weed. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that's good.
Got back weed for Michelle. For months, we kept bugging him about the weed, giving us back the weed. And I really thought it was a lot of weed. It was literally just crumbs. It wasn't even a joint in this thing. It was crumbs. I was like, we went through all this trouble for crumbs?
I remember that, but I remember how impressed I was that how often she would stop by. I mean, not necessarily both of you, and not. It was like, I'm going by, I'm going in. Next day, I'm going by, I'm going in. Just keep going in and going in.
We have our weed back, and can we have our weed back on camera? They don't like being on camera. That's the thing. Nobody likes being on camera. Like the guy who assaulted me today. He don't like being on camera, but he has to come out, walk over to me and grab my phone. Wrong way.
I'm sure I'm not going to have any trouble in Moorestown before I do anything. Having somebody have my camera to do some video for me. Because it's too easy. It's too. There's 40 districts in the state. It's like Humphrey Bogart. All the districts and all the state. You had to walk into my joint. I know I'm old. What can I say? I got old references. Look it up.
I like old references. And I like new ones. We have new references now that we're going to have to live with for the rest of our lives, like this one.
Brother, what's that?
Look,
What's
I don't
that,
have
brother?
earphones on. I don't have to live with it. Give me a high sign when it's not on, and I'll prove my point.
Brother, ew.
Oh, Lefty, June 5th is when we have to go. Okay.
June
It's on,
5th.
it's on Wednesday. Yeah. Then we have tickets for Thursday, so we could give those away.
Busy week for me.
Okay.
I'm working at Liquid. I'm working at Liquid Sunday. I'm working at Liquid Friday, Sunday. Monday, I'm doing something. I'm going to Bushkill Falls.
Oh,
You ever
are
go
you?
Yeah, you ever go there?
I've been there.
Woo!
I've been there. I went there with my first wife when I was like 22,
Oh man,
and it was awesome. Have you been there?
I've been there a couple of years ago.
Okay, well, they got the boardwalks on the side of the Bushkill River or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's different trails. There's like
Yeah.
the different trails you
But
can take.
where they have the actual like the falls and the rapid water and little pools on the side. There's walkways over it, but also alongside it, not up on land, like down alongside it, where you're on a walkway and you're closer to the river, like they do at the Niagara Falls. So, but anyway, I heard a woman yell. She was on the walkway above the thing, and with a guy, and her pocketbook was in the rapids, and it was coming down towards me. So I looked, and it stalled in a little pool off to the side, and I climbed down the rocks about like 8 feet or whatever, and got over to it. I'm so happy, only to
Wow.
look inside and see it. No, I picked it up, and they were gone. It's like, what'd they do? They ran away? I got it. So I opened it up. It had a wooden nickel, her driver's license, and a bag of wet pot. And this is like 1973. We didn't have pot. And it was a wet bag. We put it where Debbie and me stayed somewhere. I think it was a holiday, some sort of thing, right near there. And dried it off on the like the heater, the little where the vent was on the wall unit in a motel, and dried it off and smoked some found pot. Bushkill Falls is like beautiful. It's like really. I was thinking how I'd like to go back there just like recently.
That's why they ran. No, I
Yeah,
didn't
well,
say
I'm guessing. Yeah.
no Liquid. I didn't say
Yeah,
that.
that's funny. I kept the wooden nickel for a long time. I sent her a license, back to the address on her license with a ha ha. That was long before LOL.
Smiley face.
Might have been before then. But,
All right, so I have you, Jim Miller, nominating Stu for a board
Yep.
slot, and now I'm seconding it, and I'll put this to a vote on the vote chat.
Yeah.
And we'll get that going. So good. Congratulations, Sue. We're going to get you on this board because we need all the help we can get. We need smart people, helpful people. Oh, there she goes. She's done.
And another person who doesn't just go, okay.
No.
Which is most important.
Alrighty then. Well, that's all I got for tonight. I guess we'll see you Thursday, and hopefully we'll be in the Mad Hatter very soon.
Oh, yeah.
He said 3 weeks away. So what we can do in 3 weeks is do a studio podcast, but we want to be outside. I think we want to be in the consumption area. They have a consumption lounge that's off property.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to set up over there. Do a podcast, talk to people online.
You act like that takes a great deal of thought to come to that conclusion.
Well, it's the best thing ever because we're going to be... Yeah,
it is. It is. It's like, I think we've been, and after thinking about it, it'd be nice to be able to consume on the podcast.
Well, they built us a studio inside the dispensary, but
you can do that. You can do stuff from there.
If it rains, I guess, but
It's a
we want to
satellite
smoke
thing.
weed. It's almost a deal breaker if we can't smoke weed because we're patients.
Yeah.
We have to smoke weed.
Well, do you have a non-weed smoking member who could like be in the studio and be your conduit to a great show, doing all that work in the studio, where you're nothing more than a satellite for the studio out there in the field? You know,
What we could do is have a smoke break and bring a phone out with us during the smoke break.
I thought you
It's
said
just
have a smoke break and not
bring it.
smoke and go back inside for a little bit. But,
I just like smoking outside in the. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, she lost connection. Sue lost connection. Oh,
yeah, that's what I say when I ditch it.
yeah, that's what I say when I'm sick of y'all.
Yeah.
Guts to go.
All right. Well, yeah, the link to you were gonna send me a link for some other.
The video. I'll send you
Yeah.
last year's
Right.
Cannabis
And
Patient Aware.
if you get a list together of the states considering, I mean, whether or not they're like locked in or anything, I really, there's times when I want to waste time from what I'm trying to do, but it's a lot of at the computer now organizing and brain shit, and I don't like that. So what I do is I got to turn away from it and do something else, or even just get up and walk a couple laps around the house. But what I'd like to do then would be to go and pick a state and look into it a little bit, read about it, see what comes up when I look in the news, you know, because I really want this to be as good as might be able, and you're not going to be able to be there all that time. And I'm afraid, of course, if you leave the table, that may leave me there to deal with shit, and I want to be like as ready as possible, you know.
No,
It's
I
a one
can't leave.
time. It's a one-time thing. Don't expect me to be responsible like this shit ever again. I can't
Yeah,
count on me sometimes.
I don't leave the table because I have too much work to do.
Yeah.
The only time I left the table is to go pee. And
Yeah, well, yeah. Listen, you know, I've known enough people in wheelchairs. I mean, not even sure. I'm just saying that something that amounts to a really cool-looking double king-size bed, cool-looking topping sheet of some sort, especially any color in it, and you kind of wind it around yourself, and you get out the urinal, you do your business, you know, you close it, and you're done. You go right there, and you just go, oh.
and just remember, the Porta John does have
Hmm.
room for signage. Lots of signage on the Porta
It
John.
does. That's a good. Yeah, listen about that. I forgot about that. Yeah, you get to get up table, go to Porter John. It's right there. Shit.
And inside too. You can put signs inside.
Oh, that's where you got captives. You know. Yeah, it's right there. You want to hit them with that bullet point that they won't be able to get out of their head later on. You know. Too bad we can't get some sort of jingle that gets stuck in your head. You know, like an ice cream truck jingle.
Dump your Scutari in here and point to the hole.
Oh yeah, this is going to be good. But let's think about what it takes. And you know, I'm out of the financial system, haven't had a bank account, credit card, anything like that in decades. Um, but it's not that hard to have a limited, targeted fundraiser for something like that. That had a really like a lower limit on. I mean, it's very specific, you know, and it's easy to write up. I'd write it up. I just don't have a way to post it, you know, and know where then the money goes to wherever, and that even if it's not there for some reason in time to use that exact money, it will back up money, you know, being spent, if you know what I mean. Of course it is. But listen, those people want this to happen, you know. I mean, ponying up for porta potty. Come on, how many funny things can you say about that? That's no shit. It's pretty shitty not to. People give a shit about stuff like that.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
I'm done. I'm
Yeah,
done.
well, I had a very successful day.
Good. Yeah, I didn't hear the beginning. I figured out what you were talking about when I popped in. The assault and all that.
Well, he's trying to bully me now, and
Yeah, but it was always he, and I didn't it was never, there wasn't a recap like, okay, so if you weren't with us in the beginning, we're talking about Lefty and who?
I don't have his name yet. I will have his
But
name.
it was the person that had previously.
Spit on me. He's called the spitter. I call him the spitter who should have swallowed.
While he's talking to you, or on purpose?
No. That's just my loving name for him. The spitter who should have swallowed.
Huh.
Yeah. Don't I mean what?
You should say learn to swallow.
Should have been swallowed.
No, it's funnier. He should learn to swallow.
He should have been swallowed.
Yeah, that's good. That's better yet. Good one. I didn't hear that. Okay.
That was Bear's line.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear it. I
it.
couldn't hear what you were saying, but then when I heard it, I thought, man, there you go. Winner, chicken dinner. Awesome. Ding, ding.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I got to say, I came across some good smoke in an unusual manner. Is it Mary Pangberg got something from where she buys? I think it's a dispensary, but a local, like little one, whatever, delivers. But she said it gives me a headache. And I know it couldn't really be giving her a headache. Turns out she changed her medication, but she still didn't want it because it gives a headache. No, a medication was discontinued because they're having production problems. But she was left with what she paid $250 for, that she gets a break herself that would have been more like $300. And I thought, it's tough when you get an ounce of that. And then she said she knows that I buy for about 160, and and it's pretty good quality. And she said if you didn't get a headache, you could, So anyway, I took it off. I bought it from her, which freed up some of her money, and then she didn't have to complain. But it sucks because I really like it, and I'm not going to pay more than that, and so I got to. But it works nice. I mean, it gets me through night like tonight, where I don't feel disconnected. I have a train of thought that extends more than a few seconds. All right, that's good. Well, I'm going to go clean up the history of New Jersey's outlier status as concerning home grow for patients. We're all done.
You're going to smoke a blunt and probably watch some hockey playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right? There's playoffs tonight, right?
I don't know.
I think the Rangers play tonight. I think it started a while ago, too. Fuck. Missed it. Yeah.
That's where stuff like FanDuel sports betting good, because anytime during the game, there's $1 bet you can put on that'll be, addressed during the game one way or the other. And when you're already enjoying something like that, it's like, you pick out, the odds of who will score a next goal if there is a goal. They're pretty hefty, but it's kind of fun, Shot on goal will give you a good thrill. Yeah, well, all right. Well, listen, I'm going to do the same, but I got to, it's really fun to have Saturday coming up where I really give a shit about it. And I got to be connected with people and get things ready way early, and then when I'm late, it'll be just on time. I know me. I'm going to coax myself with that. So, we're done?
All right, seconded.
All right. Second, third, fourth.
Good night.
See you on the flip side.
See you Thursday. Good night.